Good day, good day. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. Today is Saturday, the 16th of December, 2023. We're halfway through the month of December. What in the world's going on? Let's take a look. So, liquidation looms. DeFi ecosystem faces another bailout with Venus Protocol's $30 million event. BNB's price dipped below the liquidation threshold, leading the BNB core team to liquidate $30 million in USDT debt, seizing $33 million of BNB collateral. Despite the recent liquidation, the position's health remains at risk. Potential further liquidations if BNB's price drops to around $210.80. Binance Labs and Pendle Finance join forces to revolutionize DeFi yield potential. Let's take a look at this. It's from August 24th. We've seen that already. Still some updates being done to the website. Sam Altman reinforces his commitment to WorldCoin. That's right, he's CEO again, I believe. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, reaffirms his commitment to the WorldCoin project, aiming to raise $50 million in funding. WorldCoin's vision involves creating a global identity network using iris scans to distribute cryptocurrency. Despite regulatory scrutiny, the project continues to expand, showcasing the potential for innovation in digital identity and finance. So he's back at the helm, more enthusiastic than ever about the core project. Outside of ChatGPT. Breaking, 14 more countries lined up to join BRICS. Do we know who they are? Yes. The 14 countries, including Algeria, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba. That's a lot of countries in the A and B. Honduras, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Palestine, Senegal, Thailand, Venezuela, and Vietnam have applied to join the BRICS bloc. How did Palestine apply to join? Why would Kuwait want to join? Their entire history of being a nation is based on their support from the US, and BRICS has positioned itself as an enemy of the US economically, politically, and strategically. Venezuela makes sense. Vietnam doesn't make sense. Vietnam's worst enemy is actually China. Has been for a long time. Algeria doesn't make sense since most of their defense comes from the US and the West. Although they have always been buying Russian-made planes, so that's, maybe Bahrain. Strange. Oil. How are they getting all these oil countries lined up? Bahrain and Kuwait, that's interesting. Belarus, that's a client state of Russia. They have no say in any matter. That's Lukashenko, so not surprising. Bolivia, not surprising. Corrupt as hell, under Russian control as well. Cuba, same story for a long time. Honduras, I'm not sure what's going on with Honduras right now. But I'm sure if I checked, they'd have a leftist government at the moment. Kazakhstan. Hmm. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is between Russia, China, and the Central Asian countries. So it would make sense for them to join strategically for business reasons. Kuwait would just be the oil that they would be interested in. Palestine, I don't understand at all. They bring nothing to the table. Senegal brings more to the table, and they don't bring much either. Thailand is a strong, independent Southern Asian country with a lot of trade potential. Near China's lifeline. Venezuela, lots of oil. Again, that makes sense. Venezuela's government is held in place thanks to Russian support. That's interesting. So yeah, so that's one way of looking at it. So, also, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia are set to join BRICS in 2024. It's interesting that Iran is part of that, as well as Egypt, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, since Iran has supported people that tried to destroy Egypt, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, and still does. Interesting. So BRICS is becoming more and more, I guess, confusing in many ways. Polygon Labs shifts development focus to Chain Development Kit, CDK, ending contributions to Edge Framework. Huh. Favor directing efforts in the CDK. The CDK designed for Layer 2 ZK rollup development offers interoperability for chains within a broad network, a feature not present in Polygon Edge. That's probably why. Various projects, including Immutable and OKX, show interest in utilizing CDK for their developments. That's probably also a very good reason for that. Europe's defense dilemma, time to take action? I didn't know we talked about defense. Europe faces a critical defense dilemma, lagging behind the US in embracing new defense technologies and strategies. The continent's cautious and fragmented approach to defense hinders innovation and strategic autonomy. Urgent action and a unified strategy are needed for Europe to effectively respond to evolving security challenges and global geopolitical shifts. Europe's lack of investment in defense tech contrasts sharply with the US's proactive funding and strategic planning in the sector. Yeah, the US makes a lot of sense when you look at which technologies they're financing. So does Israel. And a handful of very few countries make sense with where they spend their money in defense. Israel's mostly on counter missile, counter rocket systems, good vehicles in order to protect its soldiers when they move around, because that's what they need. The US does a lot of moving troops very far, hitting things anywhere in the world, quickly, stealthily. No. Because people still expect the US to intervene in everything. Casio launched a second batch of exclusive NFTs featuring virtual G-Shock designs. That was expected, so that makes sense. US banks finally start to regain momentum after collapses. That was a bit less expected. US banks experienced a significant rebound following the Federal Reserve's indication of potential rate cuts. The KBW Bank Index records a major surge, signaling renewed investor confidence in the banking sector. Despite the positive trend, analysts remain cautiously optimistic, acknowledging uncertainties in the financial market. That also makes sense. Coinbase sues SEC for rejecting its petition. Coinbase files a lawsuit against the SEC for rejecting its petition for clear cryptocurrency regulations. The legal action highlights the crypto industry's frustration with the SEC's enforcement-focused approach. The lawsuit could significantly impact the future regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies in the US. Expecting to hear from this soon and curious to see how it goes. Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, announced the opening of the lawsuit. Hi, Alex Arias. Nice to have you with us. South Korea's central bank urges swift action on CBDC amid growing stablecoin popularity. South Korea's central bank governor Ri Chang-young urgently calls for action on central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, amid the growing popularity of stablecoins in the country. Expressing concerns about stablecoins threatening financial stability, the governor emphasizes CBDCs as a crucial response to challenges in the traditional finance system, including high transaction fees and slow settlement processes. The Bank of Korea, in collaboration with regulatory bodies, unveils a comprehensive plan to test the feasibility of CBDCs with a pilot program involving 100,000 citizens in 2024 to assess the impact on both retail and wholesale settlements. CBDCs coming up in South Korea. Once they do a test with that many people, they usually don't go back. UK financial heavyweights embrace blockchain for payments revolution. Financial giants Lloyds, Banco Santander, and UBS participated in blockchain startup Finality's Sterling payment system, marking a significant move in integrating blockchain into traditional finance. Live payments conducted through the system signal a future of digital transactions in both wholesale financial markets and emerging tokenized asset markets. Finality's successful venture, recognized by regulators, showcases the broader trend of blockchain permeating traditional finance with implications for the industry's future landscape. Fascinating, if you ask me. Let's take a look. Some more reasons to see CBDCs coming out soon. As well as other payment systems based on crypto. Why is the Ethereum price down today? Ethereum fell after failing to break $2,320 resistance due to regulator criticism and a hack that affected nearly the entire Web3 ecosystem. Ethereum's market troubles have provided room for rivals such as Solana and Avalanche to advance market dominance. All is not doom and gloom as the ETH ecosystem embraced the ERC 3643 Ethereum Improvement Proposal EIP. With increased usability, the price could recover to 2021 heights. Crypto gambling takes center stage in Taiwan's election drama. Officials probe scandal. Reports have it that Taiwan's investigation unit has been dispatched to pay attention to any illegal behavior that may affect the election. Taiwan's presidential election has become a target for the illegal decentralized gambling website Polymarket. As election day approaches, crypto users have been advised to remain cautious. According to reports, on-chain political gambling may violate Article 88(1) of the election law, resulting in a 6-month prison sentence, criminal detention, or a new Taiwanese $100,000 fine. Away from Taiwan during the 2020 presidential election in the United States, Polymarket saw tremendous trade, setting a new volume record of more than $10 million. People betting on the winner of the election. See who it could be. The crypto week ahead of the weekend market effect. 5 things to know. This week's crypto market has been volatile, with the market losing gains made last week. The total crypto market cap sits at $1.66 trillion, a 1.37% loss the last 24 hours. The United States SEC continues to impact the crypto market with the Coinbase motion denial and BTC ETF meetings with BlackRock. SafeMoon files for Chapter 7 liquidation bankruptcy on December 14th. This comes a month after the U.S. Securities Commission sued SafeMoon, its founder Kyle Nagy, CEO John Caroni, and CTO Thomas Smith with breaking securities laws and a massive fraudulent scheme. Just one of the things going on right now. Just one of many. Bonk goes boom, beats Dogecoin and Shiba Inu in trading volume. Bonk's trading volume has surpassed both Dogecoin and Shiba Inu amid questions about the coin's long-term survival in the crypto market. Bonk currently trades at 0.0000, that's 4 zeros, 2374. This indicates a minus 24.35% price drop within the last day. Market analysts predict that Shiba Inu will hit 2 cents earlier than projected. Currently, the coin is trading at 0.000000979, which is 5 zeros, by the way. So Bonk is actually, per coin, worth more than SHIB right now, but Shiba Inu should hit 2 cents sooner than they originally planned. It's all very interesting how that works. Netflix's Humble Pie, the entertainment giant, resumes adverts on X. Netflix has decided to resume advertising its services on the X platform after the boycotts following allegations that Elon Musk agreed with a tweet that praised an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. According to X estimates, Netflix canceled almost $30 million in advertising last month and joined Disney, Apple, IBM, and other multi-billion-dollar corporations in removing advertisements from X. Netflix ads have begun popping up on the platform once again, specifically from Maestro and May December. Apple, Disney, Paramount, Comcast, Lionsgate, NBC Universal, and CNN parent Warner Brothers Discovery followed suit and stopped ads on X. It's a lot of brands. It's a lot of lost revenue. Shiba Inu team assures imminent SHIB burns amid delays. The Shiba Inu team, led by Discord administrator DaVinci, has confirmed their commitment to conducting 3 manual SHIB token burns. This announcement addresses the Shiba Inu community's growing frustrations due to the delays in previously scheduled token burns. Initially set for December 14th to 16th, the token burns aim to reduce the vast circulating supply of SHIB tokens. Fascinating, I have to say. I love how SHIB is running these days. It's very interesting. A lot of burning, a lot of raising the value. It's like Shiba Inu doesn't want to be a meme coin. It wants to be a contender for a top spot. Binance.us prepares for SEC inspection of its tech systems. That's something I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the results of. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission plans a virtual inspection of Binance.us's technology, infrastructure, systems, and software. Binance.us has scheduled the proposed inspection for 7 p.m. Eastern Time on December 21st, demonstrating compliance with the SEC's investigation. This decision follows the court's initial refusal of an immediate SEC inspection, recommending more tailored requests and additional witness consultations. Hi, I'm Krish. Nice to have you with us. Are you really Krish? Because I know somebody named Krish. China Mobile launches Link NFT, a new era of NFT and Web3 in Hong Kong. They aim to enhance Hong Kong's position in the Web3 era by providing easy access to the next generation of the internet and establishing a new digital economy and society. Link NFT, leveraging the Axelar network, will issue assets on multiple platforms, offering digital asset NFT casting services and facilitating the generation, transaction, and circulation of digital assets, thereby expanding the reach and utility of Frax Finance's ecosystem in the decentralized finance space. Okay, thanks for clarifying. I'm Krish. I'm glad to know we don't know each other yet, but that's fine. We can get to know each other a little bit. So, what's your focus when it comes to crypto? What's the main thing that you look at? Is it decentralization? Is it speed of transactions? Is it the fact that it's on a blockchain? It's new technology. It's fancy. What's your main what's your main thing that draws you towards Binance and Binance Live and all these different kinds of discussions? Curious. Tether shares letters with U.S. congressional committees highlighting commitment to compliance. To learn trading. That makes sense. One good thing to know about trading is to do a lot of research on the companies that you're looking to invest in. If it's for shares and cryptocurrencies, it's important to see the company that's behind building that cryptocurrency. It can be a DAO as well sometimes, but knowing who built it and why, and how they're using it officially and how they're using it in real terms are both important. One way you can understand that is through their partnerships. So for example, if you look at companies and you see a company that's a more of a financial, I understand going for the stock market is a good way to understand trading first. That makes sense. So for example, in the stock market, if you see a financial company partner with a mining company, that probably means that they're going to start a joint venture of some kind. So if you see them starting to, court each other, start having meetings and things like that, one is probably going to finance a mine for the other, that kind of thing. The sooner you can know what's going to happen, the faster you're on top of the news, the quicker you can know if things are going to go well. For example, this is actually a true story. I had stocks in an oil company at one point because I got one for. I got a stock for free when I joined Robinhood back in the day. This small company, and their specialty was going into oil drilling places that had been already used and putting pumping carbon dioxide into the ground to get excess oil out. So their system was a lot less efficient, a lot more expensive, but they weren't doing the initial drilling that causes all kinds of extra issues for the environment or whatnot. But it's not as economically viable. It's more complicated and it's risky. And at one point, I saw a missile attack by the Houthis on the Saudi Arabian refining plant. And all of a sudden, the value of this share that was worth, so I'd bought 100 shares because they were like 10 cents or something at the time. I don't remember how much money that was. They were super cheap, a few cents per share. And then they went up to about $2 each. And I didn't sell because I felt like it would be a bad idea to go along with what was going on. And people have been hurt, people died, and things like that. So I didn't sell. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. The price the stock plummeted. The company didn't manage to get enough new places to drill, and they actually went bankrupt. and those shares were canceled about 6 months later. So I held on to them, just waiting to see what was going on. So it's interesting. Like you can't if your share goes up a certain amount at that point, just sell when you know you're going to make income. There are too many people out there that are playing this like a gambling game instead of an investment. So instead of actually like making money off of something, they're like using their feelings. Don't do what I did. Like, don't take an emotional approach at all. Like, take a strategic approach at all times when it comes to investment. So, like, what I should have done is I should have sold. I had about 100 shares, $2 each, and I bought them for a few cents a piece. So I would have made like I don't even want to calculate how much I would have made, but maybe 100 times what I put in because it was like 1 or 2 cents a share. I had 100 shares. They were then $2. So it'd be 100 to 200% increase in value, right? And then the company would bankrupt. So then I had nothing. Thankfully, I had sold some shares by that time, but I sold them at the same price pretty much as what they were before that. But yeah, so like just don't do what I did. I'm not telling you what to invest in or how to invest. It's not technically investment advice. It's just don't be emotional when you get involved in trading. It's a bad idea. Like the fear of missing out if things go up, the fear of something going down when there's no legal or logical reason for that to happen. One of the things you need to look at as well. At the time, I was like, oh crap, I could have made a bunch of money after looking into it. Even so, generally trading in stocks, I was making about 30% um, year over year. No, that's not as bad as my dad. My dad, when he was younger, had the option to buy into a small tech company, and he tried to convince his class to invest shares because they were doing a business class and testing share buying and things like that. Eventually, that company got bought out for like 1,000 times what it was worth when he was talking about getting into it by a small unknown company called Microsoft, where those shares were then like turned into Microsoft shares. So he could have been more or less like an early investor in Microsoft and made a lot more than I could have made in that one. And he would have been young, right? So there's always like once you start getting into trading, there's always the one that got away. That's a thing. So sometimes you're like, yeah, this is a really, really good opportunity. I know it is from a rational point of view, not from like a not from an emotional point of view, but you strategically look at it and you're like, this is going to be a lot bigger than it is. It's financially viable. It's making 4 times what it costs to run or something like that. Something like that would make sense to invest in and go out a bit on a limb. That's not how most people invest though. So there's publicly shared letters to the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs and the U.S. House Financial Services Committee detailing its commitment to combating illicit use of stablecoins and outlining its anti-money laundering and know your customer policies. The letters also described Tether's efforts in aligning with the Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, specially designated nationals, SDN list, including the implementation of a wallet freezing policy in collaboration with US law enforcement agencies to enhance security and compliance with the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So Tether is one of the main stable coins out there. In some countries, you're actually not allowed to use USDT because of how it's backed. But you're allowed to use things like USDC. But Tether sharing this sort of thing with congressional committees to prove that they're doing their job to make sure that they're doing everything legally is very interesting with everything that's going on right now. as well as I believe it was Tether that helps the Ukrainian police learn how to track crypto schemes and things like that. And they caught a member of parliament within like 5 days or something. It was crazy. CFI highlights concerns over Circle's operations and ties to Tron. Campaign for Accountability sent a letter to U.S. senators highlighting incomplete and misleading information in Circle's response to CFA's concerns about the company's operations, particularly regarding Circle's USDC stablecoin and its entanglements with the Tron network and its founder, Justin Sun. The letter addresses Circle's involvement in the Israeli assets seizure of Tron wallets linked to the Palestinian Islamic Jihad and questions Circle's claims about its anti-money laundering and your customer policies. By the way, Amkish, it's something else think about is when I did do a lot of stock market investments, I did a lot of investments in like financial sphere things. And then I decided to veer away from just doing the financial stuff. And I ended up thinking, well, what's something people need all the time? I'm like, well, there's food. So I started looking into those companies that make food. And I think I bought a share of Coca-Cola or something, which I noticed Coca-Cola usually goes up when everything else goes down. It's interesting how that works. It's not gold, but it's interesting how that works. It's something to know when you look at the market for a long time. I don't know if it still does that. I haven't been paying attention as much, but it used to do that. So, as always, do your own research. Works in the stock market, works in crypto, always. And then the reason I'm talking about this is because he's interested in that. And also it helps with how you look at trading crypto as well. So, for example, some cryptos may be more prone to stability when times are hard than others. Something to look at when you think times are going to be hard. But yeah, I bought a share of Pfizer before all this crazy coronavirus stuff happened. Just one, not more than one share. And I ended up selling it at the same time as their CEO once the price hit a certain amount. So I made 150% off of one share of a company I barely knew, thinking, oh yeah, medical stuff is probably a good thing. Like I wasn't, I wasn't one of the people saying that they have the best vaccine or things like that, or that the vaccine is going to save humanity. And I also wasn't saying it was useless. It was pretty early on in the whole like coronavirus thing. I had no idea they were even making um, a vaccine at the time. I didn't do as much of my own research as I should have. But in that situation, I actually lucked out in the sense that I did buy a share of something that went up in value and was able to sell it, make some income on that. Not much, obviously, but still, because one share isn't usually enough to, make a lot. So yeah, that's kind of a few of the trades I've made in back in the day. I've never had more than $500 in the stock market, so never made a lot of money in it. But it was fun. Test it out, see how it works. Ripple forecasts major shifts in crypto regulation for 2024. Which ones? Adrian Tricani, Ripple's senior, there we go. The VP of products predicts significant changes in the crypto landscape for 2024. He observes a shift in the crypto industry's approach, moving away from seeking validation from traditional financial institutions. Tricani notes the growing interest of global banks and industry giants in adopting digital asset solutions. It's always good. Frax finances strategic expansion across DeFi platforms via Axelar network. Frax Finance is expanding its ecosystem by issuing assets like Frax and FRX ETH. across multiple DeFi platforms such as Osmosis, Mantle, Linnea, Kujira, Manta Network, and Scroll, leveraging the Axelar network for enhanced reach and interoperability. This strategic move aims to strengthen the company's presence in the DeFi space, facilitating the generation, transaction, and circulation of digital assets in various scenarios, and contributing to the growth of a more interconnected DeFi ecosystem. IMNAEEMGM. Segal user ABB94. Nice to have you guys with us. Why are you posting so many links? Yeah, I want to click on any of those. I have no idea if they're safe or not. Palau's XRPL CBDC pilot progresses. Ripple exec expresses support. Palau completes phase 1 of its CBDC pilot program, marking a milestone in its digital currency journey. The PSC, Palau's digital currency, is dollar pegged and backed 1-to-1 with the USD, providing stability and alignment with global standards. As a technical partner, Ripple continues to support Palau in the second phase of its CBDC program, focusing on user engagement and regulatory compliance. Very curious to see how that goes. Grayscale eases tax concerns amid Bitcoin ETF hopes. Grayscale Investments has addressed concerns regarding the tax implications of converting their Bitcoin Trust GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF. A Bloomberg intelligence report had previously raised concerns about potential tax liabilities from the buying and selling Bitcoin for ETF creations. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit's ruling on August 29, 2023, favored Grayscale. Interesting. Let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. See what's going on today in a bit of a generalized way. So the total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $51.67 billion, which makes a 18.21% decrease. So in volumes, that's how much has been traded. The global crypto market cap is $1.61 trillion, a 0.52% increase over the last day. So it's recovered since that article we read earlier saying there was a decrease in the last 24 hours. The total volume in DeFi is currently $7.62 billion, 14.75% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Hi, I'm Krish. No, I don't invest in meme coins. Currently, I don't really invest at all. Mostly because I don't have the money for it. It's not really something I spend time on right now a lot because I don't have the funds to be able to do it. I have a family, had to flee a war zone. My personal situation is a bit unusual, I guess. I used to live in Eastern Ukraine, had to leave because of the Russian invasion. Then I had to leave the next place I moved to because of high taxes. So cost me a lot financially. I had my own house. I was almost completely self-reliant, self-sustainable. I was about a year away from having my own energy production. I had all kinds of plans I was looking into about like how much money to spend and setting up solar panels and windmills and stuff to make my own energy so that when I wouldn't have to deal with the government-run energy company that was absolute trash. The energy company had somebody that would come read the meter, send that information to another company that would calculate how much I was supposed to pay, and then they would send that to another company that would actually contact me to pay the bill. And then if something was wrong, I would contact like a tech support company that would then send another company to come fix it. That's one, two, three. That's already like 5 companies. And then the cables were a different company than the company making the energy. And the company in charge of making sure electricity was going through the cables was a different one, I think. So if I had any issues, anything really serious, there were like 8 or 9 companies to deal with, and it was nuts. And they miscalculated my energy bill actually the last year. I set up heating floors, South Korean style heating floors with like a mat you can unroll underneath, like a floating floor. That was fun to build. That wasn't cheap, especially the electric bill wasn't cheap. So they calculated my entire winter bill as 1 month instead of over the course of 4 months, which is the last thing I was talking with the energy company about. Ah, memories. I had ducks and puppies and dogs and everything out there. Is funny. And 5 pups because a stray dog moved into my yard, so I had a stray dog living there. That was actually um, a good dog. Helped out a lot. I helped her get rid of ticks. I brought in ducks to get rid of ticks. There are so many ticks in that yard. It's a miracle I don't have Lyme's disease. But yeah, it's a crazy thing. I bought a house in the middle of nowhere. Well, now it's not in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of a strategic area between Kupiansk and Kharkiv. So it's, yeah, war zone heavy area. So let's see. The volume of all stablecoins is now $45.96 billion, which is 88.95% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Bitcoin's dominance is currently 51.65%, a decrease of 0.11% over the day. And the fear and greed index, I'm guessing, is going to be under 70. 73, okay. Guess I'm still more pessimistic than CoinMarketCap. So the Bitcoin price today is $42,338.61. It's up 0.47% in the last 24 hours, down 3.59% in the last 7 days. So it's in the middle of recovering the loss, but it has a ways to go. Ethereum Ether is at $2,245.40, up 0.17% in the last 24 hours, down 4.46% in the last 7 days. Let's take a look at biggest losers in the last 24 hours. Beam is down 8.55% in the last 24 hours to 2 cents 112. Still up 24.15% though in the last 7 days. Aave is at $106.87, down 7.85% in the last 24 hours. Still up 6.26% in the last 7 days. And then I'll do 2 more because they're down more than 5%. Bonk is down 7.26% in the last 24 hours, up 90.42% in the last 7 days. Bonk has grown to almost twice its value in the last 7 days. INJ Injective from Injective is down 5.79% in the last 24 hours to $30.87, still up 61.73%, which is huge. So, best winners in the last 24 hours. ICP, the Internet Computer, is up 30.06% in the last 24 hours to $9.22. In the last 7 days, it's up 71.14%. So ICP is a project that kind of competes with AWS as a kind of hosting solution for different projects that you can use as a cloud server kind of thing. But it's all blockchain based. HNT from Helium is up 17.71% in the last 24 hours to $8.34, up 83.21% in the last 7 days, which is quite impressive. Almost double. Woo Networks, WooCoin is at 42 cents 07, up 15.25% in the last 24 hours, up 68.92% in the last 7 days. Then we have ETH DYDX, which is up 11.61% in the last 24 hours to $3.13, up 2.85% in the last 7 days, followed by the only one above 10% left, Filecoin, FIL, up 10.93% in the last 24 hours, but down 0.37% in the last 7 days, 0.21% in the last 7 days, and 0.23% again. So it's struggling to get back to where it was before it went down in the last 7 days, and it's at $5.34. Let's go back to the top cryptocurrencies by market cap. So BNB is at $246.12, down 0.3% in the last 24 hours, up 2.37% in the last 7 days. XRP is at 62 cents 23. That's up 0.34% in the last 24 hours, down 8.73% in the last 7 days. Sold from Solana is at $75.22, down 0.53% in the last 24 hours, down 0.77% in the last 7 days. We'll see if that recovers this coming week or not. ADA from Cardano is at 61 cents 23, down 1.87% in the last 24 hours, up 0.73% in the last 7 days. AVAX from Avalanche is at $43.52. I remember when that thing was less than $20. That's crazy. Up 9.03% in the last 24 hours, up 32.32% in the last 7 days. By the way, a lot of AVAX's growth from top 30 to top 10 cryptos and market cap was because of partnerships and people buying in because of those partnerships. Doge from Dogecoin is at 9 cents, 414, down 0.12% in the last 24 hours, down 6.15% in the last 7 days. TRX from Tron is at 10 cents, 24, down 1.33% in the last 24 hours, down 4.92% in the last 7 days. DOT from Polkadot is at $7.19, up 0.3% in the last 24 hours, down 2% in the last 7 days. Link from Chainlink is at $14.51, down 2.08% in the last 24 hours, down 12.30% in the last 7 days. Matic from Polygon is 14th in market cap at 85 cents 43, down 0.34% in the last 24 hours, down 6.79% in the last 7 days. Ton from Toncoin is up 2.92% in the last 24 hours to $2.21, down 4.67% though in the last 7 days. So it's lost over the last week and gained a little bit in the last day. SHIB is up 4.35% in the last 24 hours, still down to 0.28% in the last 7 days. Litecoin LTC is at $72.16. I skipped the stable coins because they should always be around $1, more or less, and then they try to repeg to the dollar. So Litecoin is at $72.14, up 0.99% in the last 24 hours, but down 6.72% in the last 7 days. Bitcoin Cash, BCH, is at $230.40, up 0.07% in the last 24 hours, down 9.90% in the last 7 days. Atom from Cosmos is at $11.38, up 2.66% in the last 24 hours, up 5.64% in the last 7 days. What's really interesting to me is that Uniswap isn't 21st anymore. The internet computer is 21st at $9.12, and with a market cap of 4,116,217,321, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. To Uniswap's 3,691,904,355. Actually, what's interesting is that ICP is 200 million away from Atom from Cosmos as far as value. It's quite ahead. It's almost 400 or 500 million ahead of Uniswap. And that's how much it's gone up in the last 7 days. So you would have to scroll down for a ways before you saw ICP before. So this is a monumentous rise. And you can even see it on the graph. Let's take a look at that real quick. Just in one day, jumps from $7.48 to $9.19. Let's look at this over 7 days. Yeah, you see like there's a few jumps here, small jumps. There's a bigger jump, and then there's a leap. Will this be the new normal for ICP, or is it going to go back down? Let's take a look over a year. Has this happened before? Not like this. Okay. What in the world? When it launched, the price was much higher, it seems. Back in 2021, looking at a price of like 428 point something or higher. And then now we're at like $9. So theoretically, it could go back up to those levels. Theoretically, potentially. Or this could be the new normal because you see how long this has lasted since let's see, when did we go under $10 here? Since the 13th of May 2022, approximately. Could be wrong by a week or two even. We end up under $10 and it stays under $10, then it's under $5 in November of 2022. Goes back up to $5 in January of 2023. Goes back under $5 for most of the rest of the year, even down to like $2.93. Wow, in October. Then doubles from that in November. You know, 2xing is not a bad trade, by the way. And then back up to $9 here. The last time it was at $9 was in 2020, or like more the first half of 2022 sometime. So it's been a while. It's been over a year and a half since we've seen prices for ICP at this level. So that's very interesting to see that kind of thing happen. Yeah, BNB is a bit all over the place right now. It's Cardano. That's weird. Huh. Solana and XRP following a very similar pattern here. Not perfectly parallel, but quite similar with the same jumps and dips. Some are more pronounced than others if you compare them to each other, but still kind of the same stuff. So yeah, that's interesting in its own right. Thanks for joining today. I think that's all for today. Thanks a lot. Have a great Saturday and a great weekend. Bye, guys. Definitely subscribe so you get notifications for other shows we do. We do usually have a show on Friday, but we didn't this time around. We should have a show this coming Friday, though, and then I'll have news Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So looking forward to that. And actually, I haven't looked to see if any of those end up on actual holidays. So that could be interesting. Let's see, Monday's the 18th, Wednesday's the 20th, Saturday is the 23rd. And then the next Monday is actually, I would say, Western Christmas, and the 27th. And then Saturday is the 30th. Then we have a Monday on January 1st. There shouldn't be a lot of news for those days. So I'm expecting shows to be much shorter since a lot of the world isn't actually doing much at that time. Some still are. So we'll be covering those a bit more, I guess. But yeah, have a good week, good weekend, and see you guys Monday. Thanks for joining.